So we are pleased to have Dan Pederson make his return to Lyric Arts to direct this show. His directing work here includes A Christmas Carol, Arsenic and Old Lace, My Fair Lady, and Oklahoma. And he is here with us this evening. Dan Pederson.
Thank you. Red Velvet Cake War, isn't that delicious sounding? Scout in Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, the young protagonist says, "You can choose your friends, but you sure can't choose your family. And they're still kin to you no matter whether you acknowledge them or not. And it makes you look right silly when you don't." Well, this is very true of the Red Velvet Cake War. First of all, who doesn't like red velvet cake? Even if it is just chocolate cake with red food dye, right? Well, in this riotously funny Southern fried comedy, the three Verdeen cousins, and this is the reason I have notes because of these names, Gaynell, Peaches, and Jimmy Yvette, or Jimmy Y, as her cousins call her, could not have picked a worse time to throw a family reunion. Their outrageous antics have delighted local gossips in the small town of Sweet Gum. The eyes of Texas are upon them, and their self-righteous Aunt Lamerle is quick to point that out. Having accidentally crashed her minivan through the bedroom wall of her husband's girlfriend's double-wide, Gaynell is one frazzled nerve away from a spectacular nervous breakdown. Peaches is a saucy firebrand and the #1 mortuary cosmetologist in the Tri-County area. She is struggling to decide if it's time to have her long-lost absent husband, Trucker, declared dead, or Trucker husband declared dead. And Jimmy Y, the rough-around-the-edges store manager of Watley's Western Wear, is resorting to extreme measures to outmaneuver a rather prissy neighbor for the affections of Sweet Gum's latest widower. But the cousins can't back out of this reunion now. These women love and support one another, and they've got to stand by each other no matter how crazy things get. So it's on, and Gaynell is hosting it. Peaches and Jimmy Y have decided its success is the perfect way to prove Gaynell's sanity to a court-appointed psychologist. Unfortunately, they face an uphill battle as the parade of other eccentric Verdeens gather on the hottest day in July, smack dab in the middle of Texas tornado season. So things spin hilariously out of control when the neighbor's pet devours everything edible. And a one-eyed suitor shows up to declare his love, and the jaw-dropping high stakes for the wager becomes who can make the best red velvet cake. So this fast-paced romp barrels toward a uproarious climax, and you only can wish that your family reunions were as much fun. As Laura said, this play was written by the same authors that wrote Hallelujah Girls and Dixie Swim Club, which Lyric Arts have done. But before writing this play with Jesse Jones and Nicholas Hope, the playwright Jamie Wooten spent many seasons writing for the Golden Girls. So she wrote for Dorothy and Blanche and Rose and Sophia, and you might see little hints of these women in the three Verdeen cousins. So when it comes to cat scratching, conniving, gossiping, backbiting, squabbling, and infighting, nobody does it better than Texans. But beneath all this bellowing and screeching, there was a good-heartedness and a love that gives the whole pistol-packing bunch a good solid foundation. So the Red Velvet Cake War is a wonderful Southern comedy with characters that we might even recognize as members of our own family, though we may not want to admit it. And the crazier things get for the Verdeens, the more we can relate to them, because no one can fight as mean, love as deep, or laugh as hard as family.